Hi friends, I'm the vegan. I make a new version of my corn crackers, corn chips. I have a pound of corn. This one has been frozen and I thawed it before. Yeah, when you have fresh it's even better, but the fresh corn is not always available here, unfortunately. And it's very inexpensive, the frozen one. And it's okay, I guess, yeah. So I put the corn now into the blender, the pound. 1 pound corn, and that needs some time to really get creamy. So if you don't have a power blender like I do here, then you have to blend a long time before it gets really creamy. Especially corn is a very hard texture. It takes some time, but I mean it is nicer really when it's really creamy. So these power blenders, they have that advantages, especially for this. And you see, this is only 1 pound, so it is loaded until here. So this blender won't have a terrible time, because if it's here, this quantity and this same mass until here filled would make it, give it this blender a hard time, and even these power blenders come to their limits. Yeah, you can't do it too long with too heavy filling. Then all the power blenders, I don't know, so far they would give up. That's not good. So here I have coconut cream. How to make it you can find also, of course, on my YouTube channel. The link is under this video. And I begin with a cup, or a little bit, half a cup or so. I guess 2 cups, or a little too much. Not too much, otherwise the crackers will be too sweet. Yeah, they're a little bit too fatty then. Yeah. A little bit fat is nice to make them nice, but if it's too fat, then they get too sweet and taste a little bit too sweet. I say it's, yeah, sweety fatty. That is a little bit too much then. And I will put 1 onion in. That is new. In my recipes, I have a very simple corn crackers. Yeah, the 1 small onion, and this would be the base, and I refine it with salt and chili. 1 chili here is chili, and this chili goes in with the seeds, and you have 1 teaspoon of Himalayan salt. So it's not too much. You don't need that much salt. A little bit is nice, but the crackers otherwise they're very sensitive. You know, if you put too much seasoning into the crackers, you taste it, and then you put it in the dehydrator. Afterwards it tastes much stronger because all the water is out, they're crispy, and then the flavors come out more intense. So a little bit of salt for crackers, especially when they're thin, goes a long way. Let's see what happens now with blender dance. I have to blend a little bit longer to make it really creamy. Let's see. Blender dance. There is a limit to the creaminess. Also, when I make a corn soup, yeah, also it has to be very creamy. But I guess it's okay now. It looks nice. I have to taste it now. Oh wow, the cool flavor. It's nice and hot. There is power and fire in it. The onion is very nice together with the chili pepper. Yeah? And the corn is very heavy flavor. That means it's an earth flavor, clearly so, and you can put a lot of seasoning into the corn. So corn is so much fun because you can season it in so many ways. It likes a strong seasoning. But also it's sweet. You can eat it by itself. You don't need to season it even. So corn is amazing. So here I show you, this is the sheet of my, a teflex sheet of my dehydrator. And when I will now put, I have with this here, with the 1 pound of corn, I can make 2 of these, and one will have 32 triangles. I'll show in a moment, just to give you an idea of the measurements. I have 2 of them here and 2 of these, but I will show you only one, because the other one you can imagine. So I put half of this, the blender content now, of the dough, half of it I put on the sheet. Yeah. It's about half. It doesn't need to be 100%. Yeah, one cracker is a little bit thicker, one a little thinner. Doesn't matter. So first I have a large spoon to spread most of the dough evenly on the sheet. With a spoon that is easiest. Yeah, and I found out a large spoon is so nice to get the first job done, spreading it. Yeah, that's okay. And it has to be thin. Yeah, that is, if you haven't done it before, and you do it the first time, then you might think, oh, this is too thin, I won't have enough dough. But it has to be thin. Yeah, so you have to have a little bit of experience. That's why I show you how I make it, how I do it, to give you an idea what can happen and what you will experience when you do it yourself. So now I have a scraper here to do the fine job, because I want to have an even surface. And I begin at the sides, and you can just pull the dough over the sides, and then you have a very nice ending. Yeah, the corn crackers will look pretty nicely shaped, so regular. You just put it over the sides here. Again, the dough, a little bit of the dough, it will go onto this plastic thing, but that doesn't matter. You have to wash it afterwards thoroughly anyway. And just now, as I spread the dough, I already have the feeling it is a very nice texture, and it was good to give it only 3/4 of a cup of coconut cream. It seems to be a nice texture, and I feel it is easy to spread, it's spreadable, and it's keeping together. One thing that can happen if you make a dough for a cracker, you dehydrate it, and then there can be fissures in the cracker when they can crack open, and then you have no even crackers anymore, because there's too much liquid in there, too little fiber, and then it dries too fast. I didn't figure out yet what exactly happens, but there is a problem. You see this is what it looks like now. Yeah, this is the evenness I need. By drying afterwards, it will become even more even. Here is a knife. Now I shape it here. This is important, that this part of the knife, this part of the blade, is not thicker than here. Some other knives, like this chef knife here, this is a better knife. This is a very quality knife. But here, down there, there's a little thick ending. And this makes it difficult. This thick ending here makes it difficult technically, yeah, to get into the corners. With this, it's so easy. A very cheap, inexpensive knife, but it does a better job for this purpose. Yeah. So I will now shape it in 32 triangles, just making it diagonal, and I have to do it now before it goes into the dehydrator. Otherwise, it's very hard to cut, and I will definitely, when I do it later only, I would definitely end up cutting into my foil, into the teflex sheet. And I've already destroyed some teflex sheets because I didn't know that, and I had to buy new teflex sheets. And when you buy the new ones, then you get only very thin quality. They change the quality over the time. to save money, to save material, and then the new teflex sheets are very thin and not so easy to handle. So I better keep my old teflex sheet, not cutting into them, and that's why I have to cut it. It is easier too. Yeah. So I go crosswise and diagonal. See, the first cuts are like this. You can already see it, I guess. Crosswise and diagonal both. And now I I cut again here. Dry 4 lines here. At the squares. Yeah. And there's 4 squares now total, and each of the even square, can get a new diagonal. So I have now 16 large triangles. Now I do it another cross in each square. Now I have in the large square 2 diagonals and 2 squares, and in the small squares also 2 diagonals. That makes 16, 4 times 4. And now the squares again have to be crosswise. So that is, and then I have 32. I show you what I'm talking about in a moment. I just do it. It's very easy. Like this. This is another 2 long cuts here, and 2 in the crosswise through the small squares. And then I have my 32 triangles. I'll show you. So this is all I need now, all I need to do. You see, it's very easy and light, this job. You see these 32 triangles, by the way I shaped it. And now I will put it into the dehydrator. And the other one I will do it without you watching. It's the similar. I put it in the dehydrator now, and maybe 6-8 hours or so I have to touch it. And when it is dry enough, not completely dry, but dry enough to pull off the teflex sheet, I turn it around, and then I dry it to the end till it's crispy. Yeah. And then they're done. I show you everything. Wait a moment. After 8 hours, for you in a second, I come back and I show you the next step. Hey, here I am again. 6 hours later, or 5.5. You see, that's what it looks like now. You see clearly now the shape of the triangles. In the middle, you see here, there is still darker. That means more juicy here, still not dry. Outside is already dry. And I guess I can try now to peel it off, turn it around, and to speed up the crunch, the dry process. For that I need a knife, a small knife, and to cut around the sides, because they stick, the crackers stick to the plastic here, and I have to take them out, so I have to cut it off. Yeah. So that is very simple, just careful, and now I can lift it up and take it out. So what I do now, I will flip it around and use now this mesh. Yeah. This is a second layer with the mesh sheet. I turn it around just like this and flip it around. That's easy to do. So, and now I have to peel off the teflex sheet. That is, if that works now, I can go on drying. Yeah. Sometimes but it's too wet yet. It will stick to the sheet, and I can't really take it off. But it's pretty good. It seems okay. I may be able to do it. As I said, in the middle, as I saw before, in the middle it's a little bit more humid, and there I have a little bit of picking, but seems to be okay. Yeah. If I wait too long, then the crackers will not dry as fast. It takes too long then. The earlier I can turn it around, the more time I save. And using these dehydrators, of course, is also expensive. If I once made a calculation, when I use it for one night or 24 hours or so, the seat works. A little bit is still on the sheet. I can wash that off, but the rest is perfect so far. You see, there are still some wet places here, yeah, but I can already see it is a wonderful shape. I have 16 here, 32 crackers here, and on the other sheet, once again, so I have 64 crackers when everything works out, and that's what I like to have, nice crackers, and I can put it in a sealed container. That is important. As soon as they are dry, I break parts of it, pieces of it, put it in a container, and then the container has to be sealed, and then it keeps for a month. They stay crunchy and crispy. That's interesting, really. But the container has to be sealed, and I take some out to eat them. I quickly have to close the container again, because when there's air comes into the container for a while, then they lose their crispiness. That's important, to have them crispy. So I guess that's okay now for you. It is very simple now. The rest you can imagine. As soon as they are dry, I break the pieces apart and have my crackers ready. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy. If so, give me a thumbs up. Maybe you'll subscribe MD Vegan on YouTube. Have another recipe every single day, and find me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter.